Hello, everybody. Welcome to the after party of what was just a fabulous celebration of service. Before I introduce these other two characters that you can see on your screen, I want to thank all of those that put this amazing event together. I wish we were all gathered together, but sadly, COVID has kept us, apart. But I am so grateful to my nieces, Barbara and Jenna, to our cousin Wendy, for their hosting this amazing event and doing such a beautiful job. I want to thank Reba, our old friend. I want to thank all of those that participated in any way in staging this event. I want to especially thank and acknowledge the amazing work of not just the famous folks that have been recognized tonight by the highest award given in the field of service, but also those ordinary citizens whose stories were highlighted and whose stories inspire us to find the light that resides in us. And my dad would have been so proud to see all of us gather remotely to celebrate this amazing and important movement of serving others. And there's no doubt that our nation needs to come together. I was moved by the presidents and their joining forces. Shows that service truly does unite us, and we need to come together as a nation to address our problems. So I want to thank all of you that are tuning in. Thank our sponsors of this event, the state of Qatar, all of the people that have donated money. I'd be remiss if I didn't thank Larry Bathgate and Jack Oliver and Ed Rogers and Bob Grady and those that twisted arms to help us raise a ton of money tonight. So thank you all very, very, very much. And congratulations to those that have earned well-deserved recognition for the work you do to lift individuals and to build a stronger community. Now it is my great honor to bring in these other folks over here. The other bearded fellow, you may recognize him. He was a legendary member of the Beach Boys and an old family friend, Mike Love. He came to our event last year, blessed us with song and with his great spirit of giving and service. My new friend, John Stamos, I was asking earlier about John, and and all the girls that I talked to were like a flutter with, are you going to talk to John Stamos? And so, anyway, so we're grateful to have John, famous actor and musician.
Thank you, Neil. I see you got the portrait that I painted of you behind you.
This portrait behind me. So I asked John earlier if that portrait is a portrait of himself. It's not. It's of Elvis. But the portrait behind me was actually a painting Brother George 43 painted of me, and it's a likeness. The beard, the COVID beard, is there. Anyway, but thank you for bringing that up, John. George will like the fact that you've highlighted his.
I knew he had this hidden talent. George, if you're watching, can I get one of me and I'll put it there?
It's the Rembrandt in him has come out after his presidency. Okay, let's kick this off because we only have a few minutes. Mike, you've been a point of light and part of the Points of Light movement for a very, very long time, from the very beginning. Can you tell us what being a point of light means to you?
It means more every year. It's amazing, an amazing organization created by an amazing person, your dad. We had a relationship with him that preceded his presidency. He was the vice president. We did a birthday party at the vice president's mansion, and we did Barbara Ann with George Bush. So just some unforgettable memories. But when he came out with 1,000 Points of Light, I said, that is so simple yet so profound. And it's proven to be enormously profound and better each year. And last year was wonderful to be together, as you said, and to do some of our songs. And Garth Brooks was an honoree, and it was, and some beautiful, beautiful examples of the many thousands of Points of Light. So we have a very emotional attachment or feeling about 1,000 Points of Light, and recognizing the contributions of so many hundreds of thousands of people. Our contribution was Star Serve, and it was launched at the White House in late November of '89. And I remember your dad coming down and making a few remarks, and and Barbara asked us to do a third song. We were only supposed to do 2 songs, and they run a presidential ship really tight. But I had to tell the person who freaked out on us because Barbara Bush asked us to do another song. I go, okay, so take it up with her. And they quietly, got off that program.
What was the song? What was the extra song? What was the extra song? What was the extra song you did?
Barbara Ann.
Very appropriate. Very appropriate. So, John, how are you mixed up in all this?
Well, I'm a fan first. I was looking at these records behind Mike, and when I was a kid, his parents lived a couple of miles from me, and I used to ride my bike over to their house and look through the window at the gold records and platinum records. Like, oh my God, one day I hope to just go to a Beach Boy concert, and here I am. I started playing with them. In fact, the first time we played was in DC, right at the Washington Monument. First time I played with you guys in 1984.
You were Blackie on General Hospital.
That's right. And I've been tagging along with him ever since. He's been kind enough. But I've always been inspired by Mike's generosity and his the way he's done so much charity. And luckily we've got to do a lot together over the years. And he's always come through. The Beach Boys and Mike have always come through for me. For Project Cuddle was a big one I did, for Goodwill for a long time. So whenever we can do stuff together, we relish that.
Yeah, John brings an energy to the stage, which is fantastic. And he was helpful in putting together some of the things you'll see in just a moment.
Before we move further in, for the audience that's watching, you can lob in a question. If you look at the bottom of your page, there's a Q&A section there. So feel free to send us a question, and it will be presented by Beth, who's behind the scenes here, to us. So what have you been working on?
Well, during this pandemic, our last concert tour ended in early March. And I was sitting around in April thinking, goodness, so many millions of people has been affected, and hundreds of millions across the world. And let's write a song that gives a little bit of glimmer of hope and promise for the future. And I came up with this concept, this too shall pass. People are wondering how long it will last. As the saying goes, this too shall pass. I believe the best is yet to come, and we'll get back to having fun in the sun.
He called me with these lyrics. He said he wanted to do something. And during this time too, a lot of my artist friends were like, oh, mopey, and I can't create. I'm not feeling it. I don't know. And Mike calls me and says, hey, I got an idea. Let's do it. I said, let's just do some funny lyrics to Kokomo and call it a day. I'm bummed out too. He said, no, we got to give optimism. We got to give hope, which has always been about Beach Boys and Mike Love. And he started saying these lyrics. I said, oh, that's cool. That's cool. Let's do that.
That's great.
Yeah.
So is there something we're going to see?
Oh, are we on to that? I thought we were going to do a question, but we can show.
Oh, is there questions? Let's see. Beth, are there questions there for us?
We do have several questions that came in. And actually, a couple of people, Mike, are asking about the 2 albums that you recorded in the 70s, First Love and Country Love. Is there any chance they'll see these albums getting released somewhere in the future?
Maybe, but more recently we did an album called 12 Sides of Summer last year, and the Christmas before that we did a Christmas album with family members. A lot of my kids sang with me on it, so that was like continuing the family tradition, just like the Bushes are continuing the family tradition with Points of Light, and we continue to do our music. So those old albums, I'm not so sure. I'm not sure. There's nothing definite planned, but maybe someday.
I've got a question, Mike. So this song that you're releasing about This Too Will Pass, I understand that the proceeds will go to a good use.
Yes, anybody that buys it on Spotify or Apple or anything like that, we've along with our record company BMG have dedicated the proceeds that will go to Feeding America COVID-19 Relief Fund.
That's awesome.
But this song was done kind of differently than we ever did because we're all separated. We did it from 9 different places. I did my part up in Lake Tahoe in my studio, but there's 2 of our guys that live in Nashville, 2 of them in Santa Barbara, 1 of them in Las Vegas, 1 of them in Florida, and John Stamos at an undisclosed location.
I'm at Graceland.
Didn't want everybody driving by on the tours, you know. But anyway, he played the drums and put the video together. So we have a tremendous amount of gratitude for John. Not only is he a great guy and fun to be with, and we've had a lot of fun on tour and stage, but he's been an enormous help putting what you're going to see today together.
Yeah, I just started, I produced a lot, but I wanted to learn editing. So I learned that, and I'm getting pretty good. I said, I'll edit it for you. It should take me a few hours. 200 hours later, and 800 phone calls from Mike. Is it ready? Is it ready? Is it ready? If you would have told me when I was a kid, because I'm such a fan, I still am, that Mike Love would be calling me, 10 times a day, and I'd only answer maybe one of the calls. But let's show them that This Too Shall Pass from Mike Love and the Beach Boys, and it goes something like this.
We all remember when school is out was a cause for celebrations. Nobody ever even thought about closing down entire nations. Washing hands and wearing a mask, and it's not even Halloween. Shaking hands is a thing of the past due to social distancing. People are wondering how long it will last. As the saying goes, this too shall pass. Well, I believe the best is yet to come. So let's get back to having fun, fun, fun in the sun.
Sounds like it's not much more.
In the meantime, people, there can be no doubt. Lots of folks deserve a big shout out. First responders and the National Guard, doctors and nurses all working real hard. It's kind of like the viral Super Bowl, so do unto others, it's good for the soul. All 50 states with a unified goal. God bless America, that's how we roll. People are wondering how long it'll last. As the saying goes, this too shall pass. Well, I believe the best is yet to come. So let's get back to having fun, fun, fun in the sun. We're turning lemons into lemonade. Just be cautious, don't be afraid. Do what the doctors recommend. The sooner we do, this pandemic will end. People are wondering how long it'll last. As the saying goes, this too shall pass. Well, I believe the best is yet to come. So let's get back to having fun, fun, fun in the sun. To having fun, fun, fun in the sun.
Yeah, that is such a beautiful song, and what an uplifting tune and beat, and the fun in the sun. Mike, that was great. Thank you so much. Before we converse about that, feel free to lob in your question, the Q&A button at the bottom. Anxious to see what questions our audience might have. John, I was impressed. I mean, I knew you were a great actor. I've never seen you play the drums, but the fact that you I don't know what you call it, produced that whole thing or edited the whole thing. That's very impressive.
Well, these kids these days, they can do that. But, we did that like really early. Was it in March it was early on during this thing. And, everybody was like this, as you know.
Yeah.
But, here comes Mike Love and the Beach Boys with music that we need. I say that Discord is at an all-time high, sadly. And decency at an all-time low, but thank God we have the Beach Boys to get us through. I mean, the Beach Boys got us. We're working on a movie, and watching all the stuff they did in the 60s when all that turbulent time was happening, there was the Beach Boys to say, we're going to be okay. There's optimism. Wouldn't it be nice? Good vibrations, fun, fun, fun. And we needed, and now we need all that music just as much as we did back then. So I'm glad you're still out there making music, Mike, and I appreciate it.
Oh, I appreciate you helping us out, helping get the word out. But positivity is what it's all about, and the Points of Light Foundation is a major proponent of positivity in all kinds of ways all over the world. So we are like totally into being part of whatever Mr. Bush asks us to do.
What I love about this, just watching the Tonight Show, I mean, I'm certainly aware of you guys, but you show that you don't have to be a celebrity to help. Like all these people that are just hardworking, men and women and kids all over the world working, making a difference more than we could make a lot of the time. Certainly a lot of the people you gave awards to tonight.
Yeah, it's so inspiring, and you're 100%. We've been giving a daily Point of Light award ever since Dad started the program in the White House over 30 years ago. Wow. And there are thousands and thousands of Americans who need to be and should be recognized in this way. And so this program tonight was kind of the super steroids version of the award programming that we do, and it's just incredibly beneficial, and it is inspiring. And Mike, you are such a bright point of light, and your optimism is contagious. Your music is so happy and uplifting. And I'm just so proud of you for carrying on and doing the right thing. And I ditto what John said. What would the world be like without the Beach Boys back in the 70s and 80s, and now in this time when we really need, to come together and to do well. So I don't know you've already kind of described some of your natural inclination to wanting to help others, but the song came together easily. I mean, it was, you had all the right themes in it,
Well, I had plenty of time off. We had the Beach Boys had the busiest season for touring ever in our career. And then it all came to a crashing halt because of the pandemic. But so I was sitting in my studio and I was thinking, I've got to write something that's uplifting and positive, and so I just started writing and coming up with ideas, and then I called our keyboard player to get the right key and the tempo down, and then he sent that on to our musical director Scott Totten, who lives in Lakeland, Florida, and he put a basic track together and sent it out all over to the rest of our guys and did the vocals and everything. So it took a little while to do, and as John complains, it took a lot of hours to do the video.
It was worth it. Mike is often overlooked at what a great lyricist he is. Like you're saying, like, how'd you come up with those? He does this like that, and you forget that he came up with some of the, I like to say, and I don't know about so much now, but we'll get back to it. The whole world, at the time when the whole world wanted to be us, they were thinking about the imagery that Mike was putting out there in the Beach Boys: optimism, girls, cars, fun, 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 the beach, and he's so good at, and also you forget that Mike will come up with the hooks to a lot of these things, like round, round, get around, I get around, or I'm picking up good vibrations, which might be a good segue cue to the next song.
Except for one thing, Aruba, Jamaica.
Yes.
I want to take it.
I remember that one.
We did that on Full House.
So Mike, I'm glad John brought it up, because Good Vibrations, of course, is one of the many people's favorite songs, one of my favorite songs. I'm curious, this was way back in 1966, right? That you came up with this song. How did you come up with Good Vibrations?
First of all, my cousin Brian was working on this track, and it was an amazingly unique track with the theremin, which is a woo, that weird sounding thing.
Yes,
so
yes.
It's unlike any other single record ever. In fact, when it came out and went to number 1, we were voted the top group in England, number 1 group in England, number 2 being the Beatles. So take that, you my tops. It was, I was just envisioning, it was the 60s, it was 66. I was envisioning a hippie girl who was all into peace and love and flower power. And that's why I wrote, I love the colorful clothes she wears and the way the sunlight plays upon her hair. Just describing a moment in time and a whole vision. I'm picking up good vibrations. She's giving me excitations. Now, John,
Can I ask you what excitations means? You made that up, didn't you, Mike? Tell everybody now on the points of light.
I did, and you keep rubbing it in. But it does rhyme with vibrations. Excitations rhymes. It's not in the dictionary, but what are you going to do?
Google it. You know, didn't you write those lyrics on the way to the studio, though?
Yes, I dictated them to my ex-wife, Suzanne, who was pregnant at the time, with Christian, who sings the lead on the song in the video that you put together. At any rate, yeah, I dictated it and I said, take this down, because we had done several different versions of the track, but my cousin Brian had not put together the final version, which he finally did. And that allowed me to go ahead and finish the lyrics and come up with, I'm picking up good vibrations. She's giving me the excitations.
That's so cool.
It was fun. It was great. It was a beautiful session, enormously successful song.
So John, you're an actor, but you also, work with Mike. What's it like to be in the Beach Boys, to be in the band?
Well, it's, it's just the greatest thing ever. And as I get older, I just realize the power that his music and the Beach Boys music, Brian Wilson, have over the people. And like I said, people need it so bad right now. And I'm playing drums or playing guitar behind him, and I don't think he even realizes the power that he has, and the way he makes so many people feel so good and so happy. It's like home cooked meal. It's like safety. It's warm, to hear a Beach Boys song, so it's been going on for many, many years, but it's the highlight next to my wife and my kid. It's the highlight of my life.
That's awesome. So do we have something coming up that we're going to see, or?
Well, Mike, we re-recorded Good Vibrations, and Christian hit I didn't know that Suzanne was pregnant with Christian when you were writing his lyrics in that limo. That's cool. He probably wants 10% of the writing, doesn't he? But he sings the lead that Carl sang on this, and we re-recorded it for an album or something, Mike, right?
Yeah. Yes, we did.
And just as a disclaimer, the video that I saw on my computer screen wasn't a perfect replay of the video. I'm sure it's much smoother when it's broadcast through a broadband or whatever. Right? I mean, yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know what happened. Are we gonna? But we, at the same time of This Too Shall Pass, we also did a version of Good Vibrations that we have the video for now, right, Mike?
It's a brand new recording of Good Vibrations. Yes.
All right.
I love the colorful clothes she wears and the way the sunlight plays upon her hair. Hear the sound of a gentle word on the wind that lifts her perfume through the air. I'm picking up good vibrations, and she's giving me excitations. I'm picking up good vibrations, she's giving me excitations. I'm picking up good vibrations, she's giving me excitations. Good vibrations, close my eyes, she somehow goes around. Softly smile, I know she must be kind. Open her heart, she goes with me to head blossom what we find. I'm picking up vibrations, she's giving me excitations. I'm picking up vibrations, she's giving me excitations. I'm picking up good vibrations, I'm picking up good vibrations, I don't know where, but she sends me there. Gotta keep those loving good vibrations happening within. Gotta keep those loving good vibrations happening within. Gotta keep those loving good vibrations happening within.
Mm-hmm.
That is awesome. That is such a beautiful song. Thank you guys for presenting that to this group. It's a very special. I think we have time. We have 3 more minutes left. So if you guys don't mind hanging in there, we've got one more question that Beth's going to read out to us.
Is the question, why was the video skipping so much? If it was doing that everywhere, I apologize, or we apologize. You go to YouTube because the videos look right there.
Is it on YouTube?
Yeah, both that one and this too shall pass.
Definitely go to YouTube, you guys. It's definitely worth another look. Yeah. Beth.
Well, we've got a couple of questions, I think, to both, one for Mike and John. So what has been your favorite song, Mike, that you've played and recorded over the past 20 years? And John, what has been your favorite song over the past 20 years that you've contributed to?
Should I answer first?
Please.
Okay. My favorite song is California Girls, Surfing USA, I Get Around, Fun, 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 Help Me Rhonda, Good Vibrations, and Kokomo. How are you going to choose the favorite out of that?
There's no way. It's like picking a favorite kid.
Yeah. Who are you going to jump, kick off the lifeboat? I mean, come on.
What about Forever? Mike, what about Forever?
Like Forever was written by my cousin Dennis, and you sing it on stage and we back you up, and you did it on the episode of Full House where Uncle Jesse got married. So of course you're going to bring that up.
Well, one of the question was also, what's the song that I've loved performing with you guys over the years? Yes. And that's one of them. It was a sort of an underrated Beach Boys song on the Sunflower album, I believe. And I heard it, I was like, God, that's great. And I put it on the show, and a lot of people use it as their wedding song now, but nice. I like that one. But
you do a great job on it. You do a great job. And we did a great job backing you up, by the way.
Oh, yeah. God Only Knows is a pretty special song. I mean, that song, Carl Wilson passed away, who sang it, and it was Mike's cousin. And Mike is so great to show a big video of Carl singing it in the live shows. We play the music underneath, and Carl sings the vocal, and it's just a touching moment.
Well, thank you guys for sharing that. This is a very special evening to have a presidential legacy, Points of Light, that honors the legacy of my father being celebrated so beautifully, and the Beach Boy legacy and the legacy of service and giving that's represented by the two of you and by all those that have been recognized tonight. And what a wonderful way to end the evening with good vibrations, because we really need good vibrations, and you guys have delivered great vibrations over many years, and so I'm very grateful. So on behalf of the entire Bush family, Mike, thank you so much for what you continue to do to lift us all up. John, thank you for being part of this post after party program, and for all you do as well. Thanks to all those that have participated in this event, and for all that are doing something that find the light inside of yourselves to help lift another person to realize their fullest God-given potential, and to lift our nation, to keep our nation healthy and whole, and the great nation that, you know, is reflected by the values that we carry so deeply. Among the top of those values is service to others and leadership. So God bless all of you. Thank you so much for a wonderful evening. What a great joy, Mike. Great to see you again. And John, thanks. Nice, very nice.
Thank you, Neil. Very nice to meet you. God bless you and your family, and God bless Points of Light. It's really nice.
Everybody be a light.
Be a light.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you.
You can't be a beacon if your light don't shine. Yay.